That's been titled Why Daily Solitude is a Necessity in 2026. You want to create the kingdom within so you can position yourself. You want to create the kingdom within so you can position yourself. That is why you need solitude. Why daily solitude is a necessity in 2026. Why daily solitude is a necessity in 2026. Why is it a necessity in 2026? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to create the kingdom within, if you are going to create the kingdom within, if you are going to position yourself for the goodness and mercy, if you are going to be always at peace, if you are going to be always full of joy, if you are going to be always at peace, if you are going to be always full of joy, then what we're about to discuss now is highly indispensable for you. The necessity of solitude. And let me add to it so you can join it together. And meditation. Because the next one is meditation. I don't want to do it separate. The necessity of solitude and meditation. Why daily solitude and meditation is necessary in 2026. Why daily solitude and meditation is necessary in 2026. Why is it necessary? Because when you are in solitude, you are supposed to be meditating. You need time alone every day, ladies and gentlemen. 30 minutes, 1 hour. I typically will do in the morning about 1 hour. If I wake up early, 2 hours. If I wake up 4, I will do it for like at least 1 hour typically between 4:30 and 5:30 most of the time. Sometimes between 4 and 5:30. Sometimes can be more. Then during the day, I will do another 30 minutes. Try to spend like 1 to 2 hours every day in meditation. 1 to 2 hours every day in meditation. Solitude, just be by myself alone. Why? Why? Psalm 40 verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. If you are going to know God, 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 you need to be still. Be still and know that I am God. Christ's lifestyle and neuroscience confirm the necessity of solitude for meditation and prayers. The necessity of solitude for meditation and prayers. And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed. In the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed. And there prayed. Throughout his ministry, he consistently go away to be with God. Sometimes he will continue all night in prayers. This is because when you are always available and full of activities, listen to this, your brain stay in a high alert state. Your brain state in a high alert state. You know, let me remind you of the brain waves and activities. Brainwaves and activities. And it's important you understand these different brainwave and activities. You have gamma, you have beta, you have alpha, you have theta, you have delta. Delta brainwave is 0 to 4 Hz. This is when you are in deep sleep, dreamless restorative sleep, essential for physical healing, immune system repair, and memory consolidation. Delta brainwave. But there's also theta brainwave. Theta brainwave. What happened in theta brainwave? That's 4 to 8 Hz. Deep relaxation, light sleep. Stage 1 and 2, rapid eye movement kind of sleep. Deep meditation and raw creativity and intuition. Deep meditation and raw creativity and intuition. Theta brainwave. Theta brainwave. So this brainwave is where you are to be when you want intuition. Can you see? Remember, I told you the other time that when you are in the shower and you are bathing, your brain have the tendency to enter this brainwave when water is pouring on your head and you are relaxed, And if your brainwave get into this state, you begin to get ideas. Different ideas. Until you come into your mind. Different ideas. Because you're in what? Theta brainwave. 4 to 8 Hz. But in the alpha brainwave, it's a relaxed alertness also. It's 8 to 12 Hz, relaxed alertness. That's when you daydream, light meditation, flow state, and it's the bridge between conscious and subconscious. In theta and delta, you are in the subconscious. In alpha, you are in the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. The next two, that are beta and gamma, they are the conscious state, beta and gamma. You are in the conscious state. So alpha is in that flow state between conscious and subconscious. Then we have the beta between 12 and 30 Hz. It's active wakefulness. This is where you do critical thinking, logic, problem solving, conversation. And this is linked to stress and anxiety also, particularly when it's getting to 20 plus Hz, higher beta. Then gamma, 30 to 100 Hz. Peak performance, intense focus, high level information processing, aha moment of insight, and neural synchronization. Now, so let's go back. I have to take you through those brainwaves, and the reason is so you can understand. This is science we're talking about. And you can't divorce science from God. God created science. We discovered it. He put it there. 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 We discovered it. Remember, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter. It is the honor of king to search it out. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. It is the honor of king to search it out. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. It is the honor of king. So God put this wave there. We studied it as human and discover their usage and then use it to our advantage. Because now you have the knowledge, use it to your advantage. What's the usefulness if you're not using your advantage? What's the usefulness of knowing it? You're using it to your advantage. So I'll go back to that point I was raising that make me to go and talk about brainwave. Throughout Christ ministry, it consistently go away to be with God. This is because when you are always available, full of activity, your brain stay in high alert state of beta wave or even gamma, beta wave. Now, this state is designed to respond, produce, survive, but it's not designed to listen and perceive God. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to listen and perceive God, if you want to receive from the Spirit, if you want to get ideas, you must create time for solitude and meditation. If you don't create time, nothing will change in 2026. Nothing will change. There's nothing that will be new about the year. Nothing will be new about the year. Nothing will change. Remember, nothing will change in your life unless you do the change. Nothing will change in your life unless you make the changes. If you don't make changes, nothing changes in your life. If you want something change for better in this year, then you have to make necessary changes. And one of those changes is to create time for solitude and meditation every blessed day. And I would recommend you do about 30 minutes. You can start with 10 minutes because starting is more important than the number. Start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you can increase it, please do. The more you can spend there, the better for you. 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 When you are in this high alert state, your consciousness and spiritual clarity is drowned. So when you are in this beta or gamma, your consciousness and spiritual clarity is drowned by your mental noise. Your mental noise. But when you intentionally step away into silence and solitude, your entire nervous system can shift. The part of your brain responsible for reflection and awareness, which has been sidelined, has now come back online. This makes your body to settle. Therefore, your capacity to perceive God can now increase and expand. Does that make sense to you? I will take that again. When you are very busy, you get to work, hustling and bustling. You are in the beta. Remember, to hear God, you have to be in alpha. You have to be in theta or alpha. Alpha is the bridge, theta or alpha. You have to be in your subconscious state. So one of the goals of prayer is to get into that state. One of the goals of speaking in tongues is to get into that state. One of the goals of worship is to get into that state. So if you go and pray and worship and speak in tongues and you cannot receive, something is wrong. Something is wrong. It's a waste of time. How will you spend 1 hour praying, 30 minutes praying, and you're not receiving? Sorry. If I'm in church, I'm with a tablet. As they're praying, I'm praying. I'm receiving inspiration. I'm going to use my tablet. You're going to see me typing on my tablet. Ideas is coming to my mind, and I'm writing it down because this is communication with my Father. It's not just talking. When you finish, you go. No, it's communication. I'm hearing something as I'm talking, and I'm writing it down. You should be hearing and writing. And the reason I write immediately, I don't want to forget. So if someone see me and say, I see this guy typing when they are praying, he doesn't understand, and I'll pardon his ignorance. No problem. What he cannot do is to come and accuse me of writing. I am writing, yes, now I'm writing because I'm hearing and I'm writing what I'm hearing. You are not hearing anything, you're just talking. Me, I'm not hearing anything, I'm just talking. Me, I can hear something and I'm writing what I'm hearing so I can implement it so I won't forget. Who is more productive out of both of us? Is it the person who is just talking? This is the challenge for us as Christians. Many people are not conscious of what they are doing. You're just talking, and you're not hearing anything, and you're not bothered. The reason you are not hearing from God, if you don't hear, you are not in the right state of mind. Your mind is still very noisy. That means you have not prayed to that point. That's why I love meditation. Meditation can easily get to that point. When I'm in that point, I can then begin to speak. Can then begin to speak. Can then begin to speak when I've already calmed the mind. Focus. Pay attention. Use breath work to get your brain to theta brainwave so you can pick up communication in the spirit. So you can pick up communication in the spirit. So if you're not picking up those communication, maybe you have been too busy, too lousy, no time to be by yourself, to meditate. No time to be by yourself. To meditate. So, when you are in the high alert state of consciousness and spiritual clarity is drowned by mental noise, when you are in the high alert state of consciousness, spiritual clarity is drowned by mental noise. But when you intentionally step away, into silence and solitude, your entire nervous system can shift. The part of your brain responsible for reflection and awareness, which has been sidelined, come alive. This makes your body settle, and therefore your capacity to perceive God can now increase and expand. This is why solitude. This is why solitude deepens prayer. And this is why Jesus make it a duty to disappear for a while, to be alone with God. Please note that spending time alone with God is not a luxury where alignment with divine is restored. It is not a luxury. It is where alignment with God is restored. And this helps you to experience God more clearly. So Jesus did not withdraw to escape people. He withdrew in order to become anchored in God. So you need to stop glorifying spiritual exhaustion and stop calling spiritual burnout obedience. God is not far from you. It is you that have not spent enough time with God to be able to hear him more clearly. God is not far from you. God is not far from you. You are the one. You are the one that have not spent enough time with him to hear more clearly. Let me now talk about meditation. I will just spend this time reading only scriptures on meditation in the Bible. That's what I want to do. Because look, you need to see this for yourself. Because I don't understand how something will be plainly written in scriptures, and some people still find it difficult to do. If you find it difficult, because it's being practiced by Hindus or Buddhists, but the Bible says you should meditate. So there are some people already practice it also. Does it make it less? That's why I said the fact that arm robber wear trainers. Does it mean all people wearing trainers are arm robber? What is meditation? Meditation is a focused, intentional practice of directing attention focused, intentional practice. It's a focused, intentional practice of directing attention. You know, it's so important for you to understand the power of meditation. The day you understand the power of meditation, you will take it very seriously. And the reason you take it very seriously is because you have now discovered a tool they are probably neglected for many years, but now it's becoming obvious to you that you made a big mistake neglecting this gift of God to mankind. Meditation is a focused, intentional practice of directing attention. Traditionally, it involves stillness. Remember, be still and know that I am God. That's talking about meditation right there. Be still and know that I am God. That's talking about meditation right there. Traditionally, it involves stillness, relaxed but upright posture, and sustained awareness of a chosen object. Listen to this. Sustained awareness of a chosen object. So you can decide to choose a scriptures, a verse of the scriptures. You can decide to choose something you want to place your attention on at that particular point in time. So it's stillness or sustained awareness of a social object. Sometimes it involves breath work. Focus on a chosen object, like your breath, like a word, a scripture, a bodily sensation, or simply present experience, your current moment, present experience. Instead of suppressing thought, meditation notices them and gently return to focus. Over time, this trains the mind to become less reactive. Look at the essence of meditation. It trains the mind to become less reactive and more stable. Spiritually, it can mean dwelling in a sacred text, dwelling in scriptures, meditating on a character, on a text, or divine presence, and letting the truth sink in from the mind to the heart. Regular practice nurture clarity. Regular practice of meditation nurture clarity, peace, self-knowledge, and compassionate action. So can we now read scripture that talk about meditation, ladies and gentlemen? I have how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, we look at it together. We look at it together. So can we look at meditation? I will start with the word meditate, and then I will do meditation. In Genesis 24:63, Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. Look at Isaac, 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 look at Oh my God, look at Isaac. Isaac went out to meditate in the evening time, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camel are coming. He went to meditate in the evening time. He went to meditate in the evening time. Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, very popular. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate on it day and night, that thou may observe to do according to all that are written in it. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous and have good success. Hold on. Remember, meditation make you to be at peace. full of love and joy, and it make you position for good success. It make you position for good success. It make you position for good success. Oh my God. This book of the Lord shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate on it day and night, that thou mayest observe to do. If you want to be able to do the scriptures, obey the scriptures, you must meditate. Thou must observe to do according to all that are written therein. Then thou shalt make thy way prosperous and have good success. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Psalm 1. Not standing in the way of sinner, nor sitting in the seat of the scornful, but his delight in the law of the Lord. And his Lord does he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bring forth his fruit in his season. Can you see his position himself? That bring forth the fruit in his season, his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he do shall prosper, because he's already positioned. Oh my God. Like jumping up. It's already positioned. It's already positioned. It's already positioned. It's already positioned. What positioning? Meditation make him to be at peace. Position himself. Whatsoever he do shall prosper. Psalm 63 verse 6. Whenever I remember thee upon my bed. Psalm 63, let me start from verse 5. He said, my soul shall be satisfied. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness. And my mouth shall bring praise with joyful lip when I remember thee in my bed and meditate. When I remember thee in my bed and meditate, my soul shall be satisfied. When I remember thee in my bed and meditate in the night watches, my soul shall be satisfied. Let me read another translation. When I sit down to satisfy my hunger and my joyful lip hunger to praise you, I remember you while lying in my bed. I meditate about you. I think about you in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, when everywhere is quiet and calm. Let's see another one. Psalm 77 verse 12. I will meditate also of all thy work and talk of thy doings. And talk of thy doings. Psalm 119 verse 15. I will meditate in thy precept and have respect to thy ways. Psalm 119 verse 23. Princes also did sit and speak against me, but thy servant did meditate in thy statutes. My hand also will I lift up unto you, unto thy commandment, which I have loved, and I will meditate in thy statutes. Psalm 119 verse 78. Let the proud be ashamed, for they dwell perversely with me without a cause. But I will meditate in thy precept. Psalm 119 verse 148. My eyes prevent the night watches, that I might meditate in thy words. Psalm 143 verse 5. I remember the day of old, and I meditate on all thy works, and I muse on the works of thy hand. Isaiah 33 verse 18. Thy heart shall meditate. Terror. Can you see this one? Terror. Terror. So people meditate terror. Luke, sorry, 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 15. Meditate on these things. Give yourself wholly to them, and thy profiting will appear unto all. Meditate on these things. Give yourself wholly to them, and thy profit will appear unto all. Let's look at meditation, the word meditation. Psalm 5 verse 1. Give ear to my word, O Lord. Consider my meditation. Psalm 19 verse 14. Let the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Psalm 43, verse 3, verse 49, verse 3. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. Psalm 104, verse 34. My meditation of him shall be sweet, and I'll be glad in the Lord. And I'll be glad in the Lord. Psalm 119, verse 97. Oh, how I love the law. It is my meditation all the day. Can you see that? Psalm 119, verse 99. I have more understanding than my teachers. I have more understanding than my teachers. For thy testimony are my meditation. You know what has happened today? We have been meditating on the wrong thing. The last one, even though this word used here is also translated in another place as meditation, but here it was saying, think on these things. And that's what you will find in Philippians chapter 4. Philippians chapter 4, in verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Think on these things. Think on these things. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll stop here. We'll be going to start session very soon. But before we go, let me hear from you. How has been the second session for you? I was able to address some of the questions I saw in the comment while I was on. Let me hear from you. What have you learned? How has been this session for you? I hope it's worth your while and a good time spent on this holiday. Yes. Who want to give us his comment? What have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? Abayomi, good morning. Is it morning? It's still morning, yeah. Abayomi, good morning. Abayomi, can you hear me? Abayomi. Okay,
Good
Tolu,
morning, sir.
go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. This is my first time speaking live on this platform. I want to first of all appreciate you, sir, for how insightful might not capture the depth of appreciation. I'm saying thank you so much for this in-depth revelation. One of the things I want comment that I really must say. What if in the instance meditation? I've I've recently had this insightful teaching has exposed the depth of solitude in prayer.
Yeah.
Someone who likes the concept of you pray in tongues for long, and then you just get the word, and then once you have received peace in your heart, you you know, okay, the prayer is said. But recently, starting the year, I just said in silence the word and prayer, and God has been helping. But one of the things that I've noted or that I'm realizing, what if they are conflicting thoughts? In the sense that, why I mean conflicting thoughts, what you think you might have received as a word, but you are not sure of the certainty or the quality of the kind of thoughts you have, received during your moment of solitude. This can mean, let me say, you one time received an instruction, a prophetic insight, okay, this is a thing, and then later on, you don't decide to go into solitude, and then you are receiving a contrary thing concerning that thing. And you know that at the instant, you receive that thing through the word or through inspiration. But when you now decide to go more into solitude, go more into meditation on the word of God or meditating on the promises, and then you are receiving a contrary instruction, a contrary inspiration to that thought. How do
Good
you
question.
place it and how can you cure those kind of instances in the
Okay, that's the question, right?
yes, sir, a question and a comment.
Okay. Now, number one, the one you receive in solitude for me, I will give it more credence, I'll give it more weight. But we shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes as Christians. I think the challenge we have as Christians is sometimes we want to play God. I don't have any issue making mistake that thinking that this is what I think God wants me to do, and then I do it, I didn't see the result. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered because I know that all things work together for good. God has a way that if you sincerely make mistake, He will drive you back to where He wants you to be. So don't leave it in the hand of God to decide on how He will get you to where He wants you to be. You have just act based on what you believe. This is what He's telling you. So don't be afraid to act. What if it's not God? What if it's what you are doing? Is it from the devil? Is it sinful? If you believe at that time this is God, and God knows you are acting in innocence, and He knows our frailty and inadequacy as human, all things will work together for your good. So don't be afraid. Avoid that unbelief and fear. Just act. So if you now you receive an instruction, if not taken, you've not obeyed, you've not done what you are meant to do based on that instruction. Now you are receiving something else because in solitude, I will act on the second one. That's what I will do. Because that one was more. Being in, remember I said when you are in that state, you are in a brain wave that make you to connect with divine and be able to receive. So I would trust that more than the one you received before. For me, I spend, in fact, when I want to do something, I spend a lot of time, I will get my brain into that place. You know, the beauty of science is I can just stay and I have a kind of breath exercise that will get my brain into theta brain wave. And I'll be doing that breath exercise and I will be thinking a different idea will be coming to my mind. Why? Because I want to be in that state where I am aligned with the divine. So what you want to do is to ensure you are in that brain wave at different point in time. You can get in that brain wave through meditation. You can get it through prayer, through speaking in tongues, through worship, whatever works for you. What is important here is that your Christianity or your faith is productive, it's result oriented. Someone says spirituality without control over your reality is vanity. Spirituality that does not give you control over your reality is vanity. Spirituality that does not give you control over your reality is vanity. So either you want to do to prayer. Sorry, I have cough. And I want to do through prayers or through fasting or through worship or through speaking in tongues or through meditation. I just like meditation because that one I can do it anywhere and I will not be disturbing anybody. I can be by myself, you know? So I don't know if I've answered Lashe's question. Any other question?
You have, sir. Thank you so much.
All
I'm
right,
very
all right.
grateful.
Thank you. Any other question?
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Theo, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for this class again. It's actually very mind-opening. So I actually wanted to ask then, you mentioned something similar about your process. So is there a specific process that is like very effective?
Process of
Let's
what?
say, yeah, so let's say you want to pray or something like maybe you want to hear from God on something,
Yes,
and then you can now say, okay, I will start with breath work, then
yes.
after that
I
I
will
will
get.
start confessing.
Please, when you want to pray, ensure you are not praying out of anxiety or fear. Ensure your brain is in a relaxed state. That means you are in a relaxed state. You are in a theta brainwave. So I have a breath exercise I do to bring me to that state brainwave. Do you understand?
Or
Tio? I will
yes,
talk
sir.
about it. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll talk about it tomorrow, and I will do an example tomorrow, and I will drop I've dropped it before. I will drop it again. The audio that can guide to be able to do the exercise, that can guide you through the exercise. So if you do that breath exercise, it will take your brain to theta brainwave. You need to be in that state to connect with the divine. And it's good you are in that state whenever you're praying. The goal of prayer, of worship, that's why some people try to worship before they start praying. That's the goal. If you are worshiping before you start speaking, it's because you are supposed to get yourself into that state where you are now relaxed. When you're in that state, you will know because you'll be at peace. You know, there's no anxiety, there's no worry. You're just in that state. You will know where you enter that state if you do it well. You know, so it can be done through worship. Some people like singing, they will sing and sing and sing, and they get into that state. You know, whatever gets into that state is important. But what is important is that being in that state is critical for you to be able to hear, because you must be in that state to align and be able to receive.
All right. So now, yeah. So in fact, as you were talking, that Bible verse that says, with thanksgiving, we should make our requests known to God.
Exactly. You get it. You get it. You get it. He said, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. With thanksgiving, make your request known. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like now there are a number of these things. So there is worship and praise. There is confession, like making
That is the time to now
confess.
begin to confess also.
Okay,
That's
like
the time.
within the prayers.
Yeah, that's the time
All
to be
right,
speaking
all right.
forth, calling those things which be not as though they were, calling those things, because you are in a state where you are at peace. You believe what you are saying, because if you are not in that state, sometimes what you are saying, you don't believe it. You are just saying, you're just confessing where you are not in the state. In fact, when you are in that state, some things you are saying and speaking, you are not the one hearing, you are not the one that created it, you receive it. It just drop on your mind, and you're speaking those words as they are coming to your mind. You're speaking those words because you are speaking based on what you are receiving at that particular point in time. So being in that state is so critical.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Someone saying, in the process of trying to meditate, most times I do face the challenge. Someone said, I do face the challenge of other thought intruding my mind. At times, I get lost in this other thought, and it's later I'll recover from it. So I end up wasting time. No, Ezekiel. Chidi, I'll come to you. I will tomorrow, Ezekiel. Please remind me. I'm going to give you a breath work that can make you clear your mind, so that when you are meditating, you are not get distracted. You can clear your mind. You can do a breath exercise that will help you clear your mind, so that when you now begin to meditate, you can be more focused. Ezekiel, I hope I answer your question. Chidi, go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. So far it's been really amazing. I've just been, taking next steps for 2026.
Yeah.
My question is around Joshua 1:8, right?
Okay.
When I think the word used there for meditation there was Hagar, right?
Yeah.
Which speaks
So
a lot
mortar.
about muttering and murmuring. Yeah.
Mortar
So
here.
so in looking at the forms of meditation, right?
Yeah.
When we say we
Speaking
are
is one of it.
meditating. Okay, yeah, speaking.
Like what
Thank you.
Theo said now, when you are in that state and you are now confessing, you're now confessing, but you are confessing as you are receiving those thoughts, you are speaking it forth, do you understand? So it's also
Okay.
involves speaking.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be clear on that as well. Thank you, sir.
All right. I would like to take question before I take comment. I'd like to take question. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, let me take some comment. Boluaji. Hello, Boluaji. Boluaji. Blessing. Yes.
Yes, sir. Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon.
sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this session.
Yeah.
And it has been eye-opening, like everyone has been saying.
Okay, wait.
Especially-
Let me hear. This eye opening. Let me tell you. How did you open your eyes? Please tell me what to open your eyes.
All right. The thing is, there was this thing I practiced before before last year ran out. I just did like out of normal consciousness. So let me take a quick backstory. Where I used to work, I wanted to like stop working there
Okay.
because it was really affecting me. I didn't have much time for myself to do things I wanted to do for myself. So I just said I'm going to stop. I won't continue January. I don't want to continue the same lifestyle like beginning of 2026. So people around me be like, have you started looking for a job? Have you started searching for a job? You don't have to stop before you get another one. But in my heart, I was applying. I just prayed to God that this is your will for me. I don't know how I'll get another job, but I trust that something will come up. Funny enough, I was really free. I didn't bother my mind. I was not scared. I said, this that will happen if I don't get a job in January. Definitely before this month runs out, I was going to get a job. Funny enough, I got a call from a friend because I spoke to her about it.
Yeah.
That's how she just connected me with someone. And now I have a job with the fact that I didn't put fear. Normally would have been scared, would have been overthinking, but this period I just freed my mind and I was at peace that all I know is I'm not continuing, and it's actually worked. So now I did that one out of let me just do it. So moving forward, I really take that seriously.
Good.
Like to always be at a high frequency, like you said.
Yeah.
Recently, and I also have a question, but
Go ahead.
I plan on asking tomorrow, but let me ask. What if in a scenario whereby you stay around with people and there's high tendency that someone will definitely do something to annoy you or piss you off? How do you now maintain like you being like getting angry and trying to like retrace back? Because that's one of the things I know that has been like a difficulty. I've been pushing sometimes. It will be good sometimes. I just like go down.
So let's assume you live in a house. There are 5 people, and one of them is very troublesome and notorious for that. So what you do is spend time in meditation, visualizing that person annoying you, and visualizing your response. So you're prepping your brain for the way you respond. When Kunle said this, as he normally will say, instead of saying, what do you mean? Why will you say that kind of thing? I will smile. I will ignore. I say, prep your brain. When you react, that's a reflex action. And it was based on your subconscious mind interpreting that reality. If you create a different reality, an alternative, and you do that visualization long enough, your subconscious mind register it. When Deola or Ade or Kunle misbehave again, your subconscious mind is going to react. It is going to be triggered as usual, but this time around, you will go through a different path. That's the new path you have created by virtue of that visualization. So you have anticipated it. So when it's happening, it's like I've created a scenario now. So I'm just playing out what I've already created. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir, it makes sense. And also okay, you're about to say something. And also the question that Ezekiel Victoria asked, it happens to me a lot too. So when I saw that question, I just laughed like
which question? Which one is that?
I don't know whether it's a he or she, but what Victoria said about trying to meditate and you get all that thoughts in your head.
Oh, yeah.
And it happens to me.
Not just meditation, even when you are praying.
Yes.
Even when you are praying. No, you can. If you notice, some people call it chattering mind. There are breath work that can help you set your mind, that make you more concentrate, more focused. There are breath work. The beauty, that's why I said that God has created us as powerful human beings. We have just not used our power. And thank God, people are discovering those power, and then we can begin to use them. So there are breath exercise that if you do it well enough, you are going to concentrate your mind, and then your prayer or meditation or worship can then be focused very well on what you want to focus on, and you can avoid your mind scattering up and down. So we'll deal with that.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. That's all for now.
Thank you very much. All right, let me hear from others. We still have about 18 minutes before the next session. Okay, someone said, thanks so much for the teaching on meditation. It's very timely for me. I anticipate the explanation on how to keep focus and shut out strange thoughts while meditating and how to maximize the act of meditation for life journey. Thank you. All right, no problem. All right, let me hear from others. We have about 32 here. I will drop the link for those just joining us that you don't join us every Sunday. We meet every Sunday by 8 p.m. and we are going to meet on Sunday. That's next tomorrow. I will drop the link for those that just joining us to be able to. So we are meeting for a long time today because it's holiday. But typically we meet once a week, every 8 p.m. every 8 p.m. every Sunday. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. we meet. All right. Who else? Victor, let me hear from you. I will call some people now. Let me hear from you. Hello, Victor. Hello, Vic. Okay, I can see one hand. Go ahead, please. Tokpe, I can see your hand. Go ahead. Temi Tokpe.
Yeah, Mr. L. Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, thank you very much for the question.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is about meditation actually. So, and also the part that you say when you want to hear God and talk to you, probably there are some things you are praying about. So, my question is, how do you um align or differentiate between what you are thinking in your heart and what you are hearing from God?
That is why you are not allowing your conscious brain to control you. You are getting into your subconscious mind. The reason for quieting your mind, the reason for getting to that mental state is answer to your question. The reason, so if you are confused as to where you are hearing voices from, is because you are in your conscious state. If you are in your subconscious state, you are already aligning with the divine at that level. If you are in that state, you are aligned with the divine at that level. So that's why you must first of all get yourself into that theta brainwave. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, understand.
All right.
Understand.
Yes. Okay, let me just hear from others now. Someone is here, is saved as admin. Admin, good afternoon. It's 12 already. Admin, good afternoon. Okay, someone said, sir, can meditation go on effectively even when you are in the midst of people? Is solitude a must for effective meditation? Yes, it's a must. It's a must for effective meditation. Unless you are meditating together with others. Unless you are meditating together with others. It's a must. So when you are saying in the midst of people, you can go to the toilet now. Go to the toilet. I go to toilet if I look, let me tell you, when there's something you need to do in your life, you find a way to get it done. Do you understand? You find a way to get it done. Sometimes I do it in the car most of the time, but sometimes I go to my toilet. If I'm in the office, I would lock my office. I'll lock my office and lie down on the floor. But I'll lock the office so nobody can come in. I'm saying if you are in a place where if people are around, you go to a place where you can be by yourself. Because if you are doing breath work, you are going to attract people. So it's important you are alone. Because breath work is going to make some noise and you might attract people and distract people. So I hope I answered that question. Sir, earlier teaching, you mentioned what you resist persists. Yes. The question is, how do you balance things in context of resisting the devil or thought? You can't resist a thought now. You can't resist a thought. You can't resist a thought. You can resist the devil, but you can't resist a thought. Resisting. Now, when you look at that word, I'm coming now. Sometimes sorry, 1 minute, please. I'm trying to check something before I say what I want to say. Just 1 minute, please. Uh, sorry, 1 minute. Now, I went to check the word resist, to check the original word resist. He said to stand against, to oppose, to withstand, to stand against, to oppose, because I'm looking at that word, resist the devil and he will flee. Look at another translation. So give yourself to God. Stand against the devil and he will run away from you. Surrender to God. Sorry. Stand against the devil and run away from you. What does it mean to stand against? What does it mean to stand against? That's the question we need to first ask. Because when you can't, resisting the devil is not fighting him. That's not resisting the devil. Resisting the devil is standing against what he wants you to do. Standing against. Let's read from earlier part. But he give more grace, wherefore he said, God resists the proud and give grace to the humble. Submit yourself to God and resist the devil. Stand against the devil and he will flee from you. Devil will flee from you when he knows you are not budging. When he's trying to tempt Christ, Bible says he left him for a season before Christ stood against him. Christ stood against him. That's the resisting. Christ stood against him and he left him for a season, because he's coming back. He left him for a season, because he's coming back. He left him for a season, because he's coming back. I don't know if I answered that question that this person asked. Please confirm I'm able to answer your question before I answer the next. I've seen another question. Confirm I've answered your question, please. Who asked that question, sir? Okay, Toby, good. Someone is asking a question between altered state of consciousness compared to psychedelic experience. Now, this is neuroscience. Neuroscience suggests that altered state of consciousness and psychedelic experience are not just similar. They are often shared. They're shared. They can happen together. So, for example, whether an altered state is reached through chemical means, which is where psychedelics come in, or non-chemical means, through meditation, the brain undergoes a process called functional decoupling. Functional decoupling. So the question is, what is functional decoupling? What is functional decoupling? Remember, your brain is in a particular state, but now there's functional decoupling, a state where the brain functional activity break away and become less constrained by its structural anatomy. So think of your brain like a city. This is an illustration. The structure of the brain is a neural network of road and highway, like traffic, highways on the road rather. Usually, the traffic, which is the functional activity, follow this road. Functional decoupling is like the city suddenly developed a fleet of flying cars. So the traffic no longer limited by where the roads are built. It can move across city in an entirely new fluid pattern. So basically, you can achieve altered state either through chemical means. People take, what's the name? Different substance. Or through meditation. Now, meditation helps you to achieve it naturally. Some even do rhythmic chanting. Some through fasting. I don't know if that answers Ajayi's question, but I don't want to go into technical detail of that. But if you need more, we can talk afterwards. All right. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. Think of it like comparing sunset view from a porch versus sunset painted by a master. Same sky, totally different. How to get there? I like that. How does neuroplasticity relate to long-term meditation practice? Exactly, Ajay. Neuroplasticity is what makes it easier. So the concept of neuroplasticity basically is telling you that your brain can be modified. This is why I have issue with people when someone think that this is the way who I am. Who told you this? Who you are? You know, because some people they have a particular bad behavior. They call it a weakness, very bad behavior, and they say this is who I am. That's not who you are. That's who you have become. Because when God created you, when you came into this life, you were blank. You were blank. You learned all your fears. You learned all your behavior. You learned everything. You were blank when you were born. You were blank. So don't attribute. I always ask people, what's the temperament of Jesus Christ? What's the temperament of Jesus Christ? Why are you attaching something to yourself? Because sometimes you think this is your temperament. It will now hinder you from doing other things you're supposed to do because you have boxed yourself into a corner. So neuroplasticity basically say if you think you have been behaving like an introvert, you can become an extrovert. That's neuroplasticity. Your brain can modify. You can, as I'm talking to you now, you are forming new connection. Your shape of your brain is changing. The neural connection is changing. Because anytime you get a new knowledge, you form a new synapse, a new connection in the brain. And as you get more related information, you build and increase that synaptic connection. It grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So the idea is when you begin to now do meditation, because you are meditating, it's a new practice, your brain will adjust. It will not get to a point that if you don't do it, it will be like something is missing. Why? Because now of neuroplasticity. Because of neuroplasticity. Francis, I hope you understand that. Any other question? So the brain has a remarkable ability to reorganize itself and form a completely new neural connection. So that means you can learn different things. You can change the way, if you are an angry person, you can become less angry. If you are a terrible person, you can become less terrible. If you are wicked, you can stop being wicked. That's it. You can learn new things. Your brain, if you form a connection, you can form new connection. You can form new connection in the brain. You can form new connection in the brain. Any other question? Any other question? All right. We'll be moving on to the next one. I want us to be able to cover more. Maybe at the end, I will allow everybody to speak. Although I would like to hear from everybody speaking, actually. Maybe after this next one. This will be our third session today. What's different between focus focus, attention, and open monitoring meditation. I'm not aware of this. I might have to do a research on this, Francis. But you can check this up on Google now, unless if you don't see something good on Google or ChatGPT, then let's talk about it. But we need to check it up. All right. So we are moving on to the third session of today. In this third session, we are still talking about what we've been talking about. We'll talk about understanding Christ teaching from the eye of neuroscience.